And here's Davidson. Davidson, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Sweden.
Sweden! Woohoo! What time is it there?
It's
Early.
6:30.
6:30. Okay.
No better way to
have
start
you
your
gone to
day than
sleep
with-
yet, or have you woken up?
Yeah, I actually woke up from the message from my iPhone that this show was live.
Hey, that's
What do you
great,
think
man.
about the new Alliance roster?
Wait, what?
Exactly.
I haven't even heard
Sorry,
about
Good
missed
answer,
joke.
Davidson.
Yeah.
All right, so for everyone else, be like Davidson. Set notifications for this channel. Let it wake you up the moment that I go live. He knows what's up. Davidson, what do you want to talk to us about?
I just want to talk about the scouting ground situation in EU and how it can transfer to the NA scouting ground.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
do you know
I
how
love bringing over EU talent. Tell me how we can get you more.
So, do you know how the NHL does it?
No.
With like the drafting, the National Hockey League just gets a first take on every talent in like Sweden, Russia, etc.
Okay.
In Finland. So they just draft the young upcoming players for like free, and just set them on a contract and just scout. So it's kind of just an talent growth in NA.
So wait, sorry.
In a sense.
So you're
So we
saying
could
that the NHL just has access to all the other regions, and they just will draft players out of those regions.
Well, so the way it works in NBA, which I assume is similar, is like you can just draft anyone in the world, and that just gives you like NBA explicit exclusive rights. Like you can't, say like, oh, you can't compete in your Turkish league because we drafted a Turkish player. But if you try and come to the NBA, they have your rights. And so I think that's what you're saying is the same thing in the NHL, right? Like an NHL team can draft anybody in the world, and then they have the rights to them for the NHL.
Yeah, because I don't think that Europe will ever become like a world contender region. Again, because it's like splitting up once more. I think we should just bet on NA. It's a great culture as well. So
wait,
This guy is so
wait. So okay,
smart.
just to be clear, you are suggesting that EU just becomes NA's scouting ground.
Yeah.
Oh my
What?
god.
They just shut down this year's scouting ground.
Thank
I'm a high elo player, and I wanted some scouting ground news.
And you
Yeah,
are
So you want to be, as an EU ladder player, be able to be scouted at the NA scouting grounds, is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
and then he
Yeah.
counts as a domestic player, I think, which is only
Yeah.
fair. If you're coming to compete at NA scouting grounds, then you don't take up an import slot. You just have to declare.
We need 2 continents to beat
Yes. Yeah. He's a
David
thinker.
said you have
I
my
like
Twitch
this
chat
guy.
has never moved this quickly. You are definitely the most interesting caller. And you're actually from Sweden, to be clear. You're actually an EU citizen.
Listen
right
to
now.
him.
Yes.
Can't you hear my accent? Hello?
I mean, I do
Yeah.
hear your accent. I just maybe you're a very talented accent person.
Where are you at in Sweden? If I can.
Gothenburg.
That little shithole underneath Jönköping.
Oh,
Okay.
you're near
Did you
Jönköping?
go to
You
Dream
really
Night?
are in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. I went to the season 1.
Okay, so Davidson, are you more of an NA fan or an EU fan? Like, do you watch NA LCS or EU LCS or what's your mix?
I only watch my homeboy Rickless
Okay.
in the EU
Okay.
LCS. That's the
Okay.
only thing I watch.
Okay. So,
But you like NA
Yeah,
more
I love
as a
NA.
region? But you don't watch NA?
Yeah, I watch NA.
Oh,
No,
you
he's saying of European teams, he only watches.
oh.
would you have?
okay.
Did you want during the off season? Did you want Reckless to come to NA?
Dude, I would be so happy if Aframo Rickless.
I agree.
Like,
I
who
agree.
cares if he lives in Germany or in fucking USA? If he gets more paid, I'm more happy for him as well. So
Can I ask what you like more about NA versus EU in regards to the orgs and how they do things?
the
Or the
thing is
players
that
or whatever?
NA is just more like USA. The marketplace is just so set in stone. Like, you know what you can get from it. You know how you get it from it. So it's more stable. EU is just a fucking shithole with 50 different countries and yeah.
So let me
My
ask
favorite
you,
caller, dude, ever.
have you seen the Copenhagen Flames tweets about how they're doing their like own scouting grounds?
Yeah, I actually played in some Danish. It's so weird now because they talked about splitting up the EU,
Yeah.
the EU LCS. Then they was like, "Oh, we know what we can do. We can take every country and make it an individual like CS like the fucking EU CS for every country, and we take every country's best teams and just put them in the qualifiers.
Would you have liked that system?
I guess it's good for some like new players. Like there are some D1 players and like low master players that's really good at game, have really good like macro sense. So it could bring them up more. I guess that's pretty good.
So, excuse me, the other question I wanted to ask you, Davidson. So, okay, I'm going to publish this video probably. I'll just clip it out, put it on my YouTube. I usually put it on right after the show, but all of Europe will be waking up, so it's not a safe time. So I'll probably post it.
Oh, that's the perfect time.
At like 1 or 2
figure
tomorrow.
the shit out of Europe.
No, they'll downvote it and people will hate me. But I'll probably post it at like 1 or 2 tomorrow, whenever it's safe to post it. But all the EU fans that do watch this will be like, yeah, but EU always outperforms NA at Worlds, EU greater than NA, etc., etc. So why don't you sort of share that mentality of like, who cares about NA? They have the money, and then their players will underperform, or they'll bring over our talent, and then they'll suck.
Okay, I'm not talking about like, I don't have a bias against NA because I feel like the Western culture in the LoL is one culture. I think it's bad to see us as two different entities because we have the player base, we have a much bigger player base. So why don't we take our forces together to create a better league?
I mean, you did say that it's bad to view them as two separate things, and then you also said EU is a shithole. So I'm kind of, I will.
Yeah, no. I'm just talking about the infrastructure in
right.
EU.
Right.
So
the idea
we're on
is
the
like,
same page here.
Yeah, EU better players, better like area for like players play in, but NA has much better infrastructure and income. So EU, you become a great player, and then once you've become great enough, NA takes you.
Yeah.
Davidson, I love the idea that you just woke up this morning, rolled over, started watching the show, and then you're like I'm going to be a traitor to my entire region, and call.
Damn, I have to change my alias now.
do you follow Smash?
No.
I was gonna say Leffen. He's Swedish. He's on TSM. Comes to North America all the time to play. It's the same thing, you know.
Yeah.
Davidson, thank you so much. I hope you call again in the future.
Yeah,
I'd love to have you on again.
Yeah.
Thanks, Davidson.
Yeah. Have a good one, and have a good rest of your day.
Yeah.
To be clear, though, I personally don't view Davidson as a traitor. I think that Europe should take a lot of pride in the fact that they have this really big task set in front of them, which is developing talent for the superior region. You know, it's not easy to make these guys into the great players that they are so that they can be sent off to the, to the region where they can get fame and money that they deserve for their skills, like they deserve a lot of credit for building these guys up for North America.
Yeah. I think it's funny. All the EU people always message me whenever we do the show because it's so late and they are upset that it's like so early in the morning. I always think it's an NA show, whatever. So then like EU person calls in and I'm like, my first reaction is like, oh man, like he's going to be like, why don't you do the show earlier? Or like, let's talk about something EU related. Instead, no, he's just like, EU is a shithole, NA for life.
He literally said
I wish Reckless would come to NA. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, he's a really enlightened, probably one of the most enlightened guests we've had.
All right, next guest.